What's up, peoples? Damnation-n-Hellfire here, as always. And we are ready for another rousing episode of Battle Pirates Crow's Nest No Quarter. And we called this one End of the Year is Nigh, since this is the last show we'll be doing for the year. There's actually another name that came up for it when in the pre-show, but I'm not going to discuss that. Tonight we got Ross.
Good evening, everyone.
We got Ozzy.
Good morning, everybody.
We got Stormcatcher.
Hello, everyone.
We got Jolly.
What up?
And in the background studio, waiting to come in when we rotate him in, we got Watch him. So
I'm just going to say one thing. You forgot Simba.
Yeah, I was going to say, you forgot Simba.
Oh, hey, hi, Simba.
Hi.
Well, I was specifically trying to forget the name of the show that we came up with, so that's probably why I skipped over. Anyway, what do you guys want to talk about first? Do you want to talk about the Riot campaign? Do you want to talk about Bounty? Do you want to talk about some of the other TLCs? What would you like to discuss first?
I want to bring up something from the one for the Subjugators.
Okay.
So the campaigns, I guess.
Yeah, the Death Roll one.
Uh-huh.
Just so you guys know, if you guys get those tokens and you are refitting your Subjugators in your Conquest Yard, you will not be able to use them.
I think they fixed that.
Oh, did they?
I think so. Because I saw a post about it yesterday, and then I think I saw Derpy had made a post, and then like 3 hours after he made his initial post, he edited it to say it was fixed or whatever.
Oh, that's good. Then never mind.
But hey, good for attempting to look out.
Hey, I just wasn't watching Discord till 3 a.m. like you do.
Yeah.
But I mean, since we're on that subject of that DLC, I mean, I don't know about you guys. I was using Pegasus to do it, and I thought it was pretty easy, pretty straightforward.
Yeah, I think I did the first 3 prize packs and wasn't even at a quarter damage, and I didn't repair in between.
Yeah, I mean, isn't it? It's actually the exact same TLC that we had to get the Pegasus build tokens before, right? If I recall, same
Yes.
target, same everything.
Yes.
So everybody should be, I would assume, really familiar with that TLC. So if you were able to do it to get your Pegasus tokens, you'll be able to do it to get stuff for your Subjugator. If you couldn't use it to get your Pegasus tokens, well, you're probably still not going to be able to do it to get a Subjugator. But yeah, I found that one to be pretty simple. What other ones do we have? The suppressor one, which I'm not doing because I have a suppressor already, so I didn't really feel a need to do it. There was the one for the lurker, which I'm also not doing because lurkers are pretty freaking worthless anymore.
Yeah, they only serve one purpose now, and that's peeking.
And then there was the Riot TLC.
Oh, Lord.
Crowd control.
So way damaging, in my opinion.
Yes.
If you during the last raid went and got silverfish tokens, picked them up, you're actually really lucky because you can refit your silverfish with all the new folded ferrite armors, the ones that for the CTXs, and you can actually do that TLC for actually fairly reasonable damage if you can do that refit. However, if you do not have tokens and you can't do that refit, be prepared for a whole lot of damage. I mean, me personally, my silverfish were never good in the first place. I really didn't like the silverfish. So I'm going, it's hurting me bad because I end up, by the time I'm done the TLC, I lose my entire fleet of silverfish and almost my entire fleet of riots. So I end up with like anywhere from 16 to 18 hour repairs to get a 24-hour token. So yeah, but at the same point in time, like as soon as when I get done, the first thing I do is I repair one of my riots. That way I can go ahead and equip a piece of armor or two to it while everything else is repairing. That way I'm really not losing all that much shipyard time.
Right.
And plus it helps me to progress and take less damage the next time around. So my repairs will get better as I go. It's just a very long, drawn out process.
Yeah, I only did price pack 1 and 2. I haven't done any further than that.
I've only done price pack 1.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, I did one. I'm not really going. I'm not going farther, and it's not.
I mean,
it's just that it's not tuned to make it pleasurable to want to do it. So and then if I drive really poorly, I do a lot worse. And so I just rather not set myself up for it, to be agitated.
I honestly, my first attempt at prize pack 3, I actually failed. I actually lost my entire fleet of silverfish, and then I lost my entire fleet of riots. And you guys know that I hardly coin at all. So I'm like, well, that was a whole waste of, an hour of doing the TLC, and now I have like 1 billion hours of repair, and I didn't get shit.
Yeah,
but I did get through prize pack 3 last night, and then actually as soon as we're done the show, I think all my repairs and refits are done, and I can go start my mastery rounds.
But
it's a very grindy process for sure.
I think the big thing that a lot of us might agree on with this is they shoved 4 TLCs and FM and bounty. Now, granted, bounty, we have the extra queue, repair queue for the Conqueror fleet. Well, you've got 5 events going that you need all these different fleets for, and you get 1 repair queue for them.
Yeah.
The worst thing is we're needing these tokens and all that because as it was already brought up elsewhere that we're cut 13 days short. We're needing these tokens for the builds and everything.
Yep. That's a fact. Although, honestly, I think even with, and I'm not sure exactly how this happened, but I think and it must have been maybe the couple days worth of build tokens that they gave us in the Kicksmith thing. But I think even if I didn't get the tokens from this TLC, I would have been damn close to having my fleet fully done and equipped anyway.
Yeah.
Except maybe not fully armored, but I still would have been able to have like at least 2 armors per ship on there. So,
well, I think you could, even if you're going to save the build tokens from the upcoming FM, because I think I've got 3 days, 3 hours on my 3rd one, and then 6 days on the next one, and by then we're pretty much just past pillage.
Yeah.
Mine will be fully armored.
Of course, definite recommendation. All your FM tokens this coming week and the week after that, save them.
There won't be one the week after that.
You should be able to. We should have.
This is the second.
You're right. So save the ones from this week and next week, and then save them because you're going to need them if you want to get your flag out. Yep. Even if it means you're going to have only 3 regular ships and a flag. In my opinion, having 3 regular ships and a flag is better than having 4 regular ships and no flag.
Hey, Damnation, bring
Watchmen
up. Step me down for a couple minutes and bring Watchmen up.
Okay. Hey, Watchman.
Hi, guys.
Hey.
What do you want to say about what we're talking about at this point?
Yeah, I've gone up to the first mastery round. Is polishing the TLC. As you know, I've always had loads of Grease Monkey crews. I used that, probably even the Grease Monkey crew to get the first level. Probably cost me just over 20 gold, but I'm looking at there's a 1-day build token and a 1-day what's the upgrade token, which would that's sort of 96 value. So I can see some value in it, you know what I mean? So I'll probably do the other 4 mastery rounds and get those tokens and the upgrade ones, yeah, I can see myself carrying on with it. Just not tonight, you know.
Oh yeah, I'm for sure gonna finish it out, but I'm not gonna spend any coins doing it. So it's gonna take me like right up till the very end of it to, fit it all in there.
We've only got 4 days left of it. Just under.
Yeah, and with it being like anywhere from 16 to 18 hours repair for me, it's gonna be like right on that razor edge whether I'm gonna get it done or not.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, even if you get the majority of your fourth one going and then slow build the rest of the way, I mean, you'll still have all your tokens and time to build that fourth one and be able to build your flag.
Well, actually, the tokens that I'm getting, I'm actually saving at least 4 days worth of them in case I have to do refits during the raid. Because this is going to be the first raid of the cycle, so we're not 100% sure where our boats need to be. There's 2 specials that I'm playing around with, and I have differing builds, and then I'll kind of see which one performs the best, and then I'll switch the other ones around to that one. So I need to keep a couple tokens on hand for that. So speaking of, yeah, it's probably really obvious that I'm vaping while I'm doing the show. So has everybody settled in on their build yet?
No,
I think so.
have you? I mean, I got the specials down that I'm going with, I guess, but I don't have the armor situation going, and I wouldn't mind discussing that if you want to, because I personally just don't know. Excuse me, I'm trying to clear my throat here. About using this CT. I'm trying to, without looking at the CTX. I like the evade coupled with the multi. I do, however, like the limited 25 million or whatever armor in the weekly. It also the concussive, I believe, does also carry an evade, the same percentage. However, the explosive does not. Am I correct by saying that?
Yes, that is correct.
So I'm thinking about myself about. I'm gonna try one ship with all the CTX just to see if the higher evade will benefit, and then the others I was thinking 2 and 2, 2 concussive and 2 explosive of the limited.
Me myself, I'm going with 2 of the CTXs, the folded CTXs, and on 2 of the concussive ones.
Okay, that's good.
And the VXP target, I wasn't finding that I was taking much explosive damage at all, because most of the explosive damage comes from the big rocket missile, mortar, whatever the hell things they are that come off the big pancake ship.
Right.
They're very similar to what we see, being shot by the big subs and the current targets for the TLC. And I found that most of that I could avoid with driving. So I'm not near as worried about the explosive damage part as I am the concussive. And in my opinion, like, I'm definitely doing one of my ship high evade, with agility 4, and then, definitely all 4 of the bonus evade armors on it, because it seemed like only one ship was mainly getting targeted by the regular torpedoes. So if you have that as your high evade and you put that in whatever slot it ends up being, I think in the VXP targets it was slot 4, so which means in the raid it should be slot 5. So that should cover most of that. And then I'm going with 2 that are just going to be like straight up high damage ships. My specials, of course, on that one are, the advanced loader 3, the advanced, advanced concussive loader, advanced payload 3, that's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going with the concussive sync drive. I'm going with the blaster bay special. I'm going, of course, with concussive battery. And then for my last 2 specials on those 2 boats, I'm just going with concussive upgrade. And I'm filling all my slots up with torpedoes. and not putting any counters on those two ships. And I think my printed out damage on my ship build ends up being like 4.1 million, I think.
Very good.
And then I have one that's just like what I call like a standard build that, it has 8 weapons, it has 2 cormorants, and instead of the 2 concussive upgrades, I put a Hyper 30 on that, and I'll put a Hydro Atomizer nozzle on that to help out the cormorants. And then I'll just kind of like compare, these 3 different builds really, and see like where they're at, what's going on, and then like I said, the few tokens that I'm saving from the TLC, I'll leave for this meeting.
On mine, I think I know me and Damnation have talked about it, and I think Watchman was there when we were talking about it. I'm going with basically 8 weapons, 1 of the anti-torpedoes, 1 Gale 4.
Same here.
I'm going to go with 3 of the new armors and 1 of the ZX-1s. And then on my specials, obviously the new Blister Blast Ray or Bay. The agility, or not agility, but Advanced Concussive Payload 3, the Explosive Sync Drive, Concussive Battery 1, and the Hydro Atomizer nozzle for the concussive reload.
See, okay.
Now I will, in my particular build too, was going with the 2 high DPS ships. I will point out that I am kind of banking on that I can make the flag into somewhat of a counter ship.
Yeah, me too.
If I can't do that, then I might have to do a little tweaking and finagling there at the last minute.
I mean, the reason I went with this one, I looked at the concussive damage. I'm at plus 838%.
Yeah, I'm at 838, but what I went I just switched out and went Hyper 30 and then high velocity rounds on those last 2.
And I'm not sure what everybody's damage is, but I'm at 2.7 mil on that one.
I'm at 2.7 and with 838 percentage concussive percent. Because you read your damage specials and I matched you on that. So I just excuse me, the last 2 we just came out. The only difference I had was the Hyper 30 and the high velocity rounds than you had. That's what I was throwing in there.
Yeah, now see on my DPS build, I'm actually, my damage is 4,078,800, and my concussive damage is at plus 1,033%.
Oh wow!
But like I said, I'm only running 2 of my boats like that, so doing a little bit of a hybrid thing, seeing what happens, crossing my fingers, hoping that.
Now, one thing I'm doing to help out with the armor is I am putting the which armor is that? The alloy armor.
Hang on a second, Rick. No, we're not doing. Most of us aren't doing sealed fire charge. We're actually going with the new blast bay thing, just because the crit percent chance and the crit percent damage is higher. But if you're pressed for time, you can do sealed fire charge.
I did do one with sealed fire charge, and I'll just see what the difference is. But so yeah.
Well, the big question is, does he have the new blast bay? Because some people may not have gotten it.
Well, and for a lot of people, it's really coming down to time too. I think there's actually like a 12 or 13 hour difference between the 2. I think.
Mm-hmm.
So the difference in the build time is fairly significant.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been playing around with builds all week, and I mean, like trying to think which is the best one. I've decided I'm going with one like of the explosive and 3 of the concussive now, and I think the 5th ship will be the high. I'm going to go with high evade using the 70 million armor that we got. in the FM. That's going to be the high evade one, which will probably be ship 5, if that's then they seem to take a lot. And we'll see what happens. Obviously, because I'm using the concussive sync drive, any speed doesn't matter anyway. When you're changing around the specials. So, but I can, using a crew, you can get the evade up to about 90, just over 94% on the high evade build. So,
I think what I found in the VXPE targets too is with good driving, the only damage that you couldn't avoid was the regular little gray torpedoes and the chain guns or whatever they were that were on those first boats that you encountered. But everything else, like the dumbfire torpedoes, the smart torpedoes, and the big mortar rocket missile looking thingies, all could be avoided with driving. So
yeah, I've gone with the blister hot blast bay, the hydro atomizer, advanced concussive payload 3, concussive sync drive, concussive battery, and a hyper 30. That's on the regular ones, not the high evade build.
yeah, see, the Hyper 30 is the one thing I'm not sure about because I was going pretty fast even without the Hyper 30.
See, I've got a special different than everybody. I have velocity rounds on. So, Sure.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with Damnation on the speed because you don't want to get to where you're too fast and you can't kite the targets.
Yeah, that was part of the problem I was coming into. It's like, I was having to push the down arrow like every little millimeter forward, so I wasn't like way out in front of everything. What are you doing? What are you doing with your build, Simba?
You guys got me looking at the seal fire charge and the blistering hot blast ray. Between the two, there's 10% more on the blister and 50 for the torpedo critical chance, and the damage is 50% more for the blister hot than the sealed fire charge. So that 12-hour build time could be a little bit more damage that you are giving out.
All right. So yeah, I think that choice, a lot of it's just going to come down to like where people are and it's like if they're really pushing it to get them out done in the first place, or if they have a little bit of extra time. And that's something. It's like if you need it to get you into this raid, you can always swap it out between this raid and next raid.
You guys have already said what I've got going.
Yeah, once I finish the TLC, I'll have everything built before the raid, quite comfortably. It's just these upgrades. That's the thing,
Simba, I'm going to flop you out with Stormcatcher real quick, Simba, and see if he has anything he wants to add in.
That's fine.
So, Stormcatcher, did you have anything you wanted to add in as far as where you're going with your build?
I am kind of doing the same thing that y'all are, but I'm going to be somewhat worried. BP next week, new components.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about that when we get that far.
Yeah,
The new components will maybe throwing a monkey wrench into everybody's build. We don't know that yet.
Well, I think everybody is just making the assumption too that the new components are for the current skirmish fleets. Because nowhere does it say new skirmish components. It just says new components.
True. But basically, I'm going the same way that Jolly's going. I'm running 8 weapons, Gale 4, the torpedo countermeasure, using a little extra evade, and the rest is about what he has. So that's basically what I'm running. Having a fleet before the raid? I don't think so.
Now, see, that's something that just fascinates me a little bit. That like where people are in their builds, how some people are going to have their fleet done, and some people are not going to have their fleet done. So let me ask you this: did you go into the raid with 2 weeks worth of FM tokens?
Honestly, I can't remember. I was in and out so much, I don't remember what I had.
Gotcha.
The only thing that's going to save me on the flagship, I still haven't spent that 7-day build token yet.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, that'll help you out a lot.
A huge amount, yeah. So,
But
I mean, almost to the point to where if you got the flag day 1 of pillage and started it, you can let that thing slow build as a blank, and then once it's done, use that 7-day token to almost finish off the build.
Well, why would he let it slow build as a blank when he could just use next week's FM token?
Because the refits are quicker than the actual original build.
Yes.
No, you're not. You didn't actually listen to what I said.
Sorry.
What I actually said was, why would he do that when he can, instead of slow building the blank hole, use his FM tokens for that week to get out the blank hole, and then use the token for the refit?
Good point.
Yeah. Instead of being so quick to tell somebody they're wrong, you should actually listen to what they say.
That wasn't me. That was Watchman.
Yeah, sorry.
But yeah, so.
yeah, well, I'm hoping they're going to have the riot tokens, right away, or build tokens in the event, because seriously, every event, I end up refitting. And
No, but I'm almost like 90% sure either the Wednesday of or just after the raid starts, they're going to throw that lovely 1999 LTO out there with a cajillion riot build tokens, VXP tokens, flag tokens. Because they know everybody and their mother is going to go out and buy that thing so they can finish off their fleets and get them upgraded.
The upgrade kits will be there because every time they had a pillage come out with the whatever, the upgrade kits are always there. Tokens are not.
No, I'm talking an LTO. But in the actual price store, probably not. But as an LTO, most definitely.
So as we're talking about LTOs, do we want to talk about the massive amount that we got bombarded with today? I know when I logged into my game at one point today, I had 47 of them.
Really?
I think I topped out between the last 2 days. I think I topped out at 38.
Oh my gosh, I've never hit that high.
I saw somebody on Discord today that said they had 53.
That's awesome.
I think I had 38 yesterday, and I was 21 today.
I think somebody logged on to one of their accounts and they had something like 40 or some ungodly number. Now I know yesterday's I'd say at least 75% of them were all for interceptors.
I know we were talking in Discord, and it's I'm like, to me that just reeks of desperation when you're throwing out that many time limited offers.
Well, my wife hasn't played for a while, so I kind of, I could understand why she maybe got a load of offers. Because I thought, well, if you wanted to throw her mortgage at this, you could basically have at least 3 Conqueror fleets or hulls, and after the other stuff, But I mean, you'd have to take out a second mortgage to buy everything. But you could do it. Everything was there. She had 43 offers, so I checked in my base, and I only had 16.
Basically, but you got to remember the LTOs are based on what you have in your base. So, if you already had U2 Howlers, U2 Basilisks, U1 Subjugators, and U2 Dreads, you would not get those LTOs.
Right. I'm topping out at 22. Honest, that's what I'm seeing.
I'm at 21 right now.
But I mean, even 21 or 22 for people who have a whole lot of stuff is a
Is
little
a
bit.
ton. Yeah. I'm not used to seeing 22. I'm used to seeing the max 12, 13. Yeah, usually 4.
Well, you got to remember this is the last week of the quarter, so they're just trying to make as much.
Yeah, but it's not the end. It's not the end of the fiscal year though, because
Right.
that's already come and gone.
Right.
Now, there are riot build tokens as well too. I'm getting $7.99 plus 2 Jagged torpedoes.
Yep.
And a buy limit of 2 on those, so you could do that twice.
And then they have the other one for the anti-torpedoes for the same price. So technically, you could get 2,
yeah.
4, 6, 8 of them for about $32.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
And that's not even worth it because they were selling 10 of them for $24.99 the other day.
Pretty high.
Hey, Jolly, that's
Yo.
for the people who can afford them. When you have people like me, we have to do everything slow.
Oh, yeah, I completely agree with that. I mean, I think I've talked to Damnation several times about this. Like, when I look at LTOs, if I spend $20 on a single LTO, I consider that, depending on what it is, like good money. Like, I bought the Howler one today for all the bill tokens.
Oh, there was 4 there. You talking about the one for $8.99? I'm looking at one, the first one I've come across. Now they've offered that to me. My Howler's already upgraded.
No, the one I'm talking about is you get 40 bill tokens, 400 upgrade kits, 8 60,000 VXP tokens, and 11 one-day upgrade kits for $19.99. That's actually a pretty good deal.
That's a very good deal. Yeah.
I don't have that.
And then I think somebody that didn't have.
Hang on. I would just like to throw out here that good deal is very subjective, and the views of these two individuals does not necessarily reflect the view of Battle Pirates Crow's Nest and its
Okay.
Okay, for me, it's a good. Okay, in my eyes, it's a good deal. Is that better?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I've got to say, okay, a comparison, yeah, of what you were saying. I've got a deal for Howler upgrade tokens, 30 of them there, for $39.99 dollars. Yeah, just 30 upgrade tokens. Now, if you're getting a low more than that, yeah, for $19.
Wait, it's how much?
30.
Well, hang on, just hang on, because I didn't. This wasn't supposed to turn into a whole debate about whether they're good deals or not. It was just like the sheer amount of them is basically.
Oh yeah, I completely agree with you on that.
But I mean, we could end up spending the next hour saying, "Well, I got this. Well, I got this. Well, I think this is a good deal. Well, I don't think this." And I have no desire to go through all 30 whatever TLC or TLOs one by one.
Wasn't going to. It was just that particular deal that he was saying. If you were going to buy a deal, that looks the best value one that was out there. You know what I mean?
But I mean, I know one of the big discussions we were having on the Kicks Discord earlier was, people. I was like, this kind of reeks of desperation to me, and other people are like, well, people must be buying them, otherwise they're not out there. And I'm like, well, having owned a business and having had it for quite a few years, when business is going well, that's not when you slash the prices on all your inventory.
Yeah, weirdly, I've just gone through and I've found that other deal. That 1999 is there. It's like
you're correct on that. Yeah, they don't have a garage sale.
Yeah.
When you're coming out, when you're landing on the moon.
Right.
Pretty much that is the case.
I think the big thing that reeks of desperation in them is the fact that, like, you'll see them give us a new hull, and then a day after the event, whatever it was released in, here, buy one already built. So, I mean, it's...
Well, they just monetize the game more than than it's ever been. So I can't really say what, it just seems like that's where it's at. I mean,
well, obviously they deliberately made the games, so it's virtually impossible to get the fleet built and upgraded before the next raid, next event, you know, without taking some form of deal somewhere, you know, if you want to take it, you know.
I will say though, and I pointed this out definitely on the Battle Pirates Discord the other day too. I was like, I have never seen a difference in my repair times from having U0 to U3 be enough to justify $39.99. Never.
I would agree.
Honestly, the only reason why they're rolling out all these LTOs is they didn't have to roll out a lot of them when we were doing the 3-month trade or
No, they didn't.
4-month all that. They're rolling out more and more because of it being 2 months and people are feeling pressured. I think that's one of the going to be right up there along with one of the worst kicks I could have done this year was
Well,
going to the 2-month raid.
It was a double whammy, wasn't it? It wasn't just that they shortened the amount of time; it's that they also added the upgrades.
Exactly.
So you got hit from both sides. Basically, you had less time to build a fleet, and you had to upgrade it as well. Or, you know,
Well,
well, hang on though, because have you ever really found the upgrades to be necessary? And I'm sure some of you can't answer that because some of you have never gone with U0 boats. You've always just gone automatically to U3, so you have no idea what performance is like with U0.
It depends on the circumstances, in particular targets, obviously. I mean, as we know from what we saw a month or so ago, Derpy come out with a great fleet that wasn't upgraded. Fantastic. You know?
One time.
But in other times, you know, that if you upgrade the fleet, it gives you an extra aura that allowed you to sort of kill the subs that were clouded, that were shrouded. So you know, you're
talking one specific instance that when they very first came out with upgrades. Other than that, have you ever seen where it made a difference?
It's hard for me to say because I've normally had them upgraded. So
I'd say probably not in PvE. You probably don't see a whole bunch. But on the flip side, you do see a whole bunch of the PvP.
And PvP is a whole different conversation. The PvE is what we're talking about currently.
Damnation, drop me down, pull Simba up.
Okay. All this work you people are making me do, you suck.
I mean...
But yeah, I would just I sometimes wonder how much this quote unquote pressure that people feel like we're being put under is self-imposed pressure that you're putting on yourself. Like, I have to have this U3. I have to have this U3.
Well, I mean, that's it. To be honest with you, I mean, I'm just building the fleet. The upgrades will come after. If I can't get them done, I don't know if I'm going to push for it this time because the first raid isn't as important as the final raid when you're going for the next whole of the next series. You know what I mean? Yeah. And by then they would be upgraded. You know, so. You know, I don't know. I don't think you have to push that hard for the first raid.
And Carl, I see what you're saying in chat about you went from 1 hour 10 minutes to 50 to 55 minutes by getting your Praetorians to U3.
But it's only 15 minutes.
Hang on. Just you have a big problem interrupting people.
Only you.
But yeah, I mean, when you break that down, so you say like 20 minutes across the fleet, so you're looking at roughly 4 minutes per boat. And I mean, is it really worth all that pressure that you put on yourself to save 4 minutes per boat? My opinion, no. And it's definitely not worth $39.99 to save 4 minutes per boat to me. Now go ahead, Dolly.
Oh, that's what I was going to say. It's only 15 to 20 minutes. I mean, when you look at that, no, it really doesn't justify spending $40 on it.
So that's what I'm saying. When it comes to the PvE, it's all that pressure, in my opinion, to get from U0 to U3. Almost all of that is self-imposed. Which, ironically enough, though, and I've said this all along, they say, well, upgrades don't really matter. Upgrades don't really matter. It's like, well, why the hell do you even have the game? But that's a whole different conversation.
Well, the original
PvP is an entirely different monster, and
Right.
we're not even going to devote any time to that on this show. That's
No.
only the whole show to itself.
Right. Now, I will say this: when they first came out with the upgrades, it was meant for the older holes to be relevant again. At least that's how it was explained to the player base. But then all of a sudden they're like, well, now we're just going to keep putting them on all the new ships.
Yeah, I was there for the original conversations about hull upgrades, and boy, let me tell you, they totally bastardized what it was actually supposed to be.
Okay.
But I mean, it's obviously working because people are buying them.
Matt. Oh, sorry. I did that.
What?
I wouldn't be buying them at $40. You know what I mean? That's a
No.
I don't see that sense of urgency. I'd get them as far as I can get them and take them in, and and just suffer the consequences of the fleet that I've got. I hope it does as best that it can, but yeah, I wouldn't be spending that much on them, and I don't see the first raid as being that important as the final raid. The second, as it is now.
All right. Well, I think we've ran the time limited offer conversation into the ground, and even if we haven't, I'm ready to move on to something else. So, I'll tell you, let's go ahead. Let's go BP next week real quick. There's not a whole lot there. So, I guess Monday the update notes will come out for the January pillage and one TLC. January pillage is going to have garrison and siege targets, new components, and your first chance to get the 8.5 skirmish flagship, the Raging Riot. And they're also going to have the December diary showing a look ahead at everything to come in January. And then, of course, on Wednesday, the first actual pillage begins.
Right.
So, somebody's laughing in the background.
That's not my dog, so I'm safe.
Right.
But
Yeah. Did anyone mention bounty?
no, not yet.
We can talk about bounty if you want. I don't know what there is to really talk about. It's bounty. It's going on. It's pretty much the same as always.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
I'd like to say that, the bounty is the part that I'm happy with. That is that we're primarily the start of bounty. The first 24 hours, the Kicks player bases were primarily very similar to what they were the last month. So the fleet that you had last month by doing bounty also worked this month in bounty. I know that some people weren't able to beat the Kicks employee bases, but I don't believe that they would be able to last month either. Then I didn't see any change really in that. So I was appreciative of that. I didn't run into any glitches in the spawn of them. They didn't stop for any time. The spawn rate was slow, but it was there, and I was happy with the delivery of it. Actually,
Yeah, I was. Go on.
Yeah. No, that's it. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just general.
See,
Please.
I'm in a very frustrating stage of bounty because, as everybody knows, I took a while off and didn't worry about PvP at all. And so I have a very hodgepodge of stuff. I have like 2 subjugators, and I have like 1 howler, and I have like 1 basilisk, and a couple preachers, but everything is like pretty much U0 or whatever.
Right.
So I have just enough fleets to make bounty a very frustrating experience for me. Because I can damage the kick spaces, but I can't really get into them, so I can't get nice points there. And my alternative is to go grind out for 230 points at a time on your opponent base. So yeah, bounty's a very frustrating experience.
Well, if you found a nice person to help you, The 94s, if say somebody like me that had subjugators, I could hit the
I have no desire to get carried through with the game.
Okay, but anyway, so this the 94s with subjugators were a free map repair quite easily. The 104s didn't have a guard fleeting.
Neither did the 141.
Yeah.
Really?
I didn't go up to that one. I thought
Neither did I.
Yeah, I'll steer clear.
I thought I looked at one of the 141s and it had a guard.
They didn't.
It changes dynamically based on what's going on the live server at the time. So it probably did have one sometimes, and other times did.
I noticed there was 2 different 100.
Yeah.
The layouts, yeah. So obviously there's a couple of the Kickstarter players that are at a level 100. But the one that was what's his name? Golden Doodle, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Half centaur, you mean?
Half center.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
It's
Half centaur. Sorry, half centaur. He was changing his base. He did change his fleet around, and his base was changing as we were playing it.
Yeah. That's a nutty thing, isn't it?
Yeah. In actual fact, though, it became easier once he changed it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he took. If I'm not mistaken, I think I saw somebody say he took the Houndmaster out.
That's right. Yeah.
And then it became much easier after that.
Yeah. Less damage. Yeah. Because he put in 5 of the what's them things that the Houndmaster stopped running around. I don't use them. Carnages. Yeah, 5 carnages. They just melt. You know what I mean? So yeah.
So what do you guys think about the specials that are available?
Well, I think the one for the missiles is going to bring back the missiles because I don't think I have any missiles in my base.
That's
so
finished.
yeah.
And for what level player do you think?
Well, whoever's got heavy turrets.
Missile?
Yeah. That goes on the heavy. That's for the heavy turret, isn't it? Really?
Yeah.
I'll be quite honest. I'm looking at that special not so much for the heavy missile, but one of the other missiles that's out there.
Yeah, we've looked at other turrets.
Which I don't want to give any secrets away, but if you look around in your turrets that you have, you can probably figure it out.
Yeah.
I don't use missile turrets.
But the Ion Storm Accelerator, that's good. Yeah, obviously grab them. Because chop it on the outpost, and it's good special.
What are you thinking about taking off the OP?
Well, I had a piece of junk on there. It was an anti-splash one of them specials, so it wasn't doing it that much because you hope they don't get that far anyway to get a splash on it. If you can just stop them pinching everything around it, then it's useful.
Derpy, I put the link in chat, Derpy, if you wanted to jump on.
See, I'm not willing to take my splash off. No, but I thought about taking the overload mechanism off. I just haven't seen how well that's doing lately. I don't have any way to judge that other than visually. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It also depends on what other specials you got on there, because there is a special on there that'll stop you from putting that on. Hang on, I'm just going back in my base and I'll tell you which one it is. Because I went to put it on there and I'm thinking, why it was blanked out, and I'm thinking, why is it blanked out? And it was a miss. It was one to do extra penetrative damage, which is your UAVs, which is on my OP at the moment.
Because that might have like projectile speed or something like that.
Yeah. Hang on. Where is it?
Hey Ross, I'm going to flip you down for a minute.
Sounds good. Yeah, do.
Yeah, the modified warhead stockpile, that stops you from putting that special on if you have it on there. Because I've got UAVs around my OP, so I'm using that for the extra penetrative damage and projectile speed. So you can't drop that, what's it called? The Iron Storm Accelerator on there because of that. And I don't want to take that off because that's giving me more damage on all my 4 on my.
Obviously,
UAVs.
we don't all want to talk about how we're setting our bases up out loud too much. But
Yeah, but I'm just saying
Yeah.
you can't put it on there with that because that's.
I don't care. I'll tell anybody anything they want to know about my base.
Well, there isn't much to say about your base.
You died in it, didn't you?
Anywho,
but no,
if y'all
I
don't
thought
know,
I'd just say that you can't put it on there if that's on there. That's it. That's what I'm saying. So
well, if y'all don't know, my base is pretty far behind, so I actually still have about 6 of those Stormbringers on. So this new special is very nice because I just have to change one thing.
There you go. Did you have anything you wanted to add in about the we talked before you got here about the TLCs that were going on and where we're going with our riot builds? Did you want to add anything into that?
Yeah, well, as far as TLCs, y'all know that Encounter 7, which is in Prize Factory and Mastery, you have to kill the clouds, which the torpedoes on the Riot can't do. So you need to either use Silverfish or the aft rockets from the Riot to finish that encounter. So that's something important. And then everyone should try and get all prize packs of that one done, so we get all those build tokens and VXP and upgrade kits from it, which is good.
I guess the other important thing to mention about Encounter 7 is don't go in and engage everything right away. Just trigger boats and then hide in the corner and sit there for like 6 minutes. And the largest portion of the ships will just sail away.
Yep, and you don't even need to complete it in the time frame because as long as you start the battle before the hour's up, because you have 1 hour TLC limit, as long as you start the battle at 59 minutes in and don't time out, you're good.
I got you.
Yeah, the not timing out and waiting 6 minutes at the beginning could be the difficult part. So depending on where you're at when you start out.
Did you talk about the Tier 8 Conqueror tokens yet?
No.
We kind of did, but I guess it's been fixed.
Okay, I've been seeing some people saying it's fixed and some saying it's still not. Tier 8 Conqueror build tokens weren't working, and it might be fixed, might not be.
Now, are you talking the generic ones or the subjugator ones? Because he was talking about the subjugator ones early.
Well,
I think-
Hang on.
I'll
Wait
shut
your
up.
turn, John. Go ahead, Derpy.
Well, I thought it was the generic ones, but it might be both.
Okay, Jolly, you were going to say?
Yeah, I was actually talking about the ones that's in Bounty. The generic tier 8.
Okay, because you made it sound like it was the ones from the subjugator TLC.
Yeah. I probably misspoke.
Oh,
yeah,
God.
you did say the subjugator one.
Subjugators. I think I did that because that's what I was going to use them for.
Okie dokie.
Yeah, the bug that's going around is if you look at when you're refitting in the Conquest Yard, it'll say upgrading. It won't say refitting. So if you have a Conqueror build token and that tab says upgrading, it won't let you use them.
I thought it had been that way for a little bit, even the regular one, but I might be mistaken.
No, because I actually got compensated because I spent 7,500 bounty points to get them, and I was actually given some subjugator build tokens, and they worked.
Interesting.
All right, well, I'll tell you what.
That is interesting. Hang on a minute. Hang on. I've got a riot in there at the moment, right?
No, Conquest Yard. Conquest Yard.
Hang on. Here we go again. All right. I've got a riot refitting. Now, if I hover my mouse over the shipyard, it says upgrading. Now, if I go to my Conquest Yard, where I'm upgrading a Gorgon, it says refitting.
Correct.
Well, how does that work? It's the opposite way around.
That's the glitch.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's also in the normal shipyard. I'm refitting, but it's saying upgrading.
Welcome to Kickside programming. where you too can just show up out of nowhere and program this game.
Yeah, I mentioned it to Corbin on Discord, and he sent it. He actually looked at my account, and then he's gonna send it up because he noticed it too.
And Carl and Chaz actually is saying it's been that way for weeks now.
Yeah, I thought it had actually, because every time I went over it, I'm thinking, am I upgrading this or am I refitting it? Because once you're in there, like you've got it's a full build, and then I'm thinking, hang on, am I refitting it? Am I upgrading it now? I can't remember.
I think I've got a glitch because mine's saying refit on both. It's working correctly on mine. So.
All right, so here's where we're at. My fleet just got done repairing, so I need to go get back to work on my TLC. So I'm calling this show. I'm going to go down the line and rotate people in and out as well to see if anybody has any last minute thoughts. But I want to wrap this up. So
throw me out.
Well, I will when we get to you. Simba, what do you got?
Nothing.
Nothing. All right, say goodbye, Simba.
Adios.
Jolly, what do you got?
I ain't got nothing.
All right, say goodbye, Jolly.
Goodbye, Jolly.
Stormcatcher, what do you got?
He's muted.
Stormcatcher's
He's
probably
got nothing either.
Yeah. All right, Watchman, what do you got? I know you got something. You always got something.
Should have done him last.
Just remember to save those tokens, guys. The FM tokens and the for the flag for the road.
Cool. Ross, you got anything?
Yeah. If I hit you in bounty, that doesn't mean we aren't friends.
So you didn't hit me, so I guess that means we're not friends.
I know, but I probably didn't find your base.
No,
I'm up in the 50s somewhere, so you wouldn't find me anyway.
But I hit Storm, and then I hit Simba. I've hit, yeah. If I hit you, I'm still your friend. I'm still
cool.
All right.
Ozzy, you got anything?
No.
All right, Derpy, you got anything?
Yeah, like we said, save your FM tokens for the flagship for the whatever new hull we just got, the Riot flagship. And I'm sure you already said that. And if you have Silverfish build tokens, you consider refitting some of the new armors on there. Other than that, thanks for letting me crash the show late.
Oh, no problem, man. You're always welcome. I guess the last thing I got is like they're saying, make sure you save all your FM tokens to get your flag done. And even if it means you might not get your last regular ship done, the flag is more important than your last regular ship. Keep plugging away at that crowd control campaign if you can do it. Other than that, that's all I really got. Real quick, Carl, and in response to your question about once players have a fleet for the FM, where do they go next? There are no skirmish siege holes in the FM, so how do they get holes to build those fleets? Pillage is a great place. I mean, in Pillage, there's usually older holes and there's garrison targets in there. So that would be my recommendation. Tell them to hit Pillage. And so there you go. That'd be my suggestion. Other than that, I got TLC to do, so we're out of here, guys.
Peace.
Thanks for showing up and watching us in chat. Give us a thumbs up, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. And we will see you next week. Later.
Bye, everyone.
Good night.